Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Monica. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you both today. Thank you.
So how did all of this begin? So financial advisor, and then you are moving into astrology for 40 years, and now you're channeling and painting. How did all that unfold?
Largely in a very unplanned way. Yes, you have your own plans and you think life is going to work out in a linear fashion, and it never does, or that's not been my experience. So I had always had a passion for astrology. It was always something that fascinated me because you could learn so much about a person just with 3 tiny bits of information: the date, the time, and the place of birth. And you have a massive wealth of information that you can begin to work with, to play with, depending on the kind of relationship that you wish to have or may have with that person, whether it's a parent or a child or a lover. And Lee, you very much, the way you introduced me, thank you for the introduction. You've got that beautiful silver tongue with your lovely Aquarian sun, really strong in your chart. So you're really adept with words and using words in a very creative way. You've sort of let me loose here, and once you let me loose with astrology, you might not be able to stop me. So
we don't want to stop you. You have full permission.
I'm interested in the whole astrology thing for you. Doesn't seem to be commensurate with an MBA in business finance. When did that leap occur?
Well, there are environmental pressures, shall we say, that being an astrologer, it's like, what's that? You're never going to make a living from being an astrologer. So I was always trying my best to do more serious work. Yes, so I did the MBA, the finance, all those things, which I have to say I enjoyed at the time. But always the theme running through everything was the stars and the signs and the aspects and the transits and the cycles and all these things. I felt like they're so integral to our world, both personally and globally. It just kept coming back. So I ended up doing financial astrology. I ended up bringing astrology into whatever field I went into, because that's the beauty of astrology, is you can never really get bored with it because it covers all life areas if you're willing to study it in enough depth.
Well, we'll turn you loose with us. Tell us about what you think is going on here. I've got this beautiful partner. We're doing these things together, and I'm ready to let you just talk about it.
Just amazing, really. When I looked at your charts, it was like fireworks just went off. I don't know if that was how you experienced meeting or being together, or the connection between the two of you, but it felt really fiery. It felt very profound. It feels as though when I look at your charts, you've known one another forever. You've got the sun. Lee has the sun in Aquarius. Monica has the sun in Sagittarius. These two are very compatible together. The fire sign of the Sag, the air sign of the Aquarius. So this is the sun energy. So you very much shine in this very sparkly way. Yes, you've both got a certain sparkle to you. And at the same time, what we always look at astrologically is, where's that moon? Because the moon tells us emotionally what's important. And when you get the moon in the same sign in a relationship, then you're talking business. Then you're talking, this is great. And of course, I have to say I wasn't surprised to see that you both have the moon in Scorpio. So the moon being in Scorpio together, same sign, and you, Monica, have a lot of Scorpio in your chart. I don't know how well you know your chart. Do you know your chart pretty well, Monica?
A little bit. I've had 1 or 2 readings, but it's not something that I've held in my memory and know about. So I'm actually learning a lot as you're speaking. I had no idea my moon was in Scorpio and that I had those Scorpio attributes.
That tells me you don't know much about
I
your
don't know much.
know your moon is.
I admit it.
Okay.
And wait for this.
All right.
Lee's ascendant is, guess what? Scorpio.
Scorpio. I thought it was Jupiter. Scorpio
All
really.
right.
I put a planet where a house should be.
We're showing our ignorance now.
Okay, I know nothing
we
about.
Be quiet.
So.
Oh, this is great. So you've got, it's like simmering beneath the surface is all this wealth of information, of knowledge, of delving into so many different areas. It's like you want to dive deep and you're not frightened to keep diving, and you'll keep going and you'll keep going. And it's like it's never going to be enough, because there's always going to be something else to be discovered. And you've both got this attribute. Now, you love learning. You both love learning. Yes, you've got these third house planets. I mean, Monica's got third house planets to the yazoo. So you love to learn. You love to find out new things. You want to connect with people. There's this deep desire to connect on a very deep level. And so you have this tremendously deep connection between the two of you that is, I would say, fathomless. And you keep finding out more about one another every day. Would this be true?
I think it's very accurate.
Yes, yeah. That's why
we're on the 200-year plan.
Yeah.
we want to live as long as we possibly can, because we just feel that we're in such extraordinary times on the planet, and there is such an amazing shift unfolding, and people are awakening. I'm sure you experienced that in your work, Bracka. Tell us. Yes. Well, I don't want to end the...
I haven't finished with you yet.
Yeah,
no,
okay. But when you do, I mean, I'd love to hear.
So Autumn,
your
and she was
aspects.
right, and we've talked about this on the air in other places, that when I first saw her, there was something. Indeed, something went off. I said, I have to know her. I don't know how I'm going to do it, because it's a bit inappropriate for me to walk up and say, I should know you. So there was a little bit, but I wouldn't let it go. So you're absolutely right.
There was a magnetic pull between us.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And that is a forever bond. There's one thing about the scorpionic energy, is that it's tremendously loyal. It doesn't give up. It's persistent. It's determined. It's going to get there no matter what.
Yep.
Now, what you both also share really strongly is Mercury in the third house. I mean, Mercury in the third house, you both have this. Along with Venus in the third house, you both have that. I mean, you have so many similar types of aspects. It's like, how can I say? It's like there's a resonance. One of you is playing one note and the other plays another note in harmony. And then another one plays, and it's like you're constantly harmonizing with one another. There's a musical interaction between the two of you that goes on. Are you aware of that?
I am. I am, because I feel definitely like we're playing the same guitar, and it's always been this way. And when she has certain kinds of things, I don't just cast them away. I'm a guy. I often do it first, but then I return to it and pretend it was my idea. But yes, absolutely. We think problems out together and work these things. Yeah.
I think we're quite unusual, Bracka, in that we are romantically involved, but also professionally involved. And often that can be difficult for a relationship to survive. But we were pulled together first with the magnetism, but my desire and wanting to awaken and learn and know more, it was just this pull in with the Kryon work, so that everything we do in partnership, it's like we have a joint mission.
Well, I think that what
Totally.
what she's saying now, and I want her to continue, but it really points out exactly what's happening here.
Yeah.
Yes. And of course, that was what I looked at. I thought, this is also a professional relationship.
Yeah.
When I saw the moons and I thought all the lovey-dovey and all the nicey, the romantic stuff, that jumped out of the charts. And then I saw that you, Monica, you've got Saturn in Gemini right on your midheaven. Now, Lee also has Saturn Gemini. It's not on the midheaven, but yours in the midheaven. So the work that you do together actually takes Lee's work onto a new level.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have been able to accomplish what he is supposed to accomplish without your input.
Totally. Absolutely. She pegged it. When Monica came in, this work increased and it went to levels it never did before. I finally had a partner in business who could do things that nobody has ever done, and she did it automatically without me ever asking. So, yes. Wow, this is amazing. You're great.
No, it is. This is what's beautiful about the charts. This is why I kept jumping with excitement. It's like, wow, because you'll, as you said, Monica, usually there's a romantic relationship, but it can be difficult with both, but not so with you two. Not so. I would say that this is a constant growth and learning. And you have something, particularly you, Monica, about communicating far and wide to the masses, something very, very valuable. And you also work, both of you, because of this Mercury in the third house that you both have, you work profoundly with the mental realm. The mental energies, the power of the mind to do anything and change anything molecularly, structurally. I'm not scientific, but it's something that you both have, and you again work together in a very complementary way. But this power of the mind and being able to transmit that power through the work that you do enables this awakening to gather momentum and to gather speed, so that people can learn that their power is not in this very limited world that we've been conditioned into. Does that make any sense?
Absolutely. I've also there's another system called the human design system. And in that, one of the attributes I was taught for my profile is that I gather information and then I bring it back to the tribe to share it with the tribe. That's definitely within my human design structure. And you've just said it in a different way. So I completely understand what you're saying.
You know, folks, I want to say we've spent half the program on us, and that's not really what we normally do.
No, that's what people are interested in.
Well,
people are interested in you. Again, this is your show, and they're getting to know you at a new level here. So I want
everybody to see what she's done here in just a few minutes. She's pegged it. So the astrology that she has, I mean, the system, it doesn't happen by itself. It has to be studied and learned and all that. And this is what she does. So this is just amazing. So,
thank you, Lee. But it speaks to me. You know, it's not really rocket science. It just talks. The astrology speaks, and it's like, okay, this is what I'm seeing. But there's, of course, a lot more that I could speak about. But I would say that, Monica, I mean, you have the most tremendous mind. Yeah. I mean, your mental abilities are off the scale.
Yeah.
I mean, Lee, we already know that, but I'm not sure that many people are aware of the tremendous abilities and talents and gifts that you have, Monica.
It gets me in trouble because I have a very good memory, and as Lee has said, sometimes it's hard to live with a woman who remembers everything.
But it's true. It's absolutely true, and my colleagues will tell you. This is the way of it.
Yes.
I try to pretend not to know how smart she is, but tell me, just in general, in astrology in general, is there anything in the charts that would specify health and well-being of somebody, or can you pick that up?
You mean in your charts or more generally?
No, just in general. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Just in general. Absolutely. Yes. I mean, I'm not a medical astrologer, Lee. That's a very specialized field, which involves a good 6 or 8 years of extra training, which I haven't done. But in terms of health, certainly there are transits that can affect health. So that's why it's always very valuable to know when, for example, you might have a Saturn transit coming over your ascendant. And that's often a wonderful time for really getting a grip and becoming much more self-disciplined about your health and your well-being. You might have been able to get away with things, but when Saturn comes along, it's time to get your house in order. And it can be a really wonderful thing. It just depends on how you decide to use the energies. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm always looking for the empowering, positive way to use whatever energies are coming our way, because there's always a positive route.
So transits are very, very important. People think they know their chart, but unless they see it on a monthly basis, they don't know about those transits coming or going, I suppose. So
well, Lee, there are shorter transits. Okay, there's these ones that sort of come and go, where you might be affected by a full moon because it hits an important planet. We've got a big full moon coming up. There's a few big moons coming up all this year. It's a big year. And it's the longer transits, the transits of the slower moving planets like Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. These are the ones that can have a profound effect. Let's say a Pluto transit in somebody's chart. This can last quite a few years and it can completely transform you. I was going through Pluto transits when I changed my name, for example. Yes, this was a transformational time. So Uranus transits, they bring often an awakening. They take you right out of your comfort zone. They may take you to another part of the world. They may take you into a completely new career, a surprise relationship. A Neptune transit may take you into a romance, a love, a higher feeling of compassion and love and an opening up of your heart. So it's a big area. I don't know how much detail you want to get into, Lee and Monica.
Well, I love how you said you get the energy, it's the information. It's like a GPS or a map telling you what's coming. And then you said you look at it for what you can get out of it positively. And I agree, because people say, oh, Mercury retrograde, we always blame computers crashing and travel interruptions, but it's a good time to revisit past projects. So there's always a positive aspect of what these transits bring and what the astrology brings. I love how no matter what astrology I peek into or listen to, there's an alignment with the messages of Kryon. In particular, this shift that we're going through right now and the coming years to evolve, where we're creating a new human. What in your astrology readings can you tell us about the shift we're going through and the years coming ahead?
Well, largely we're getting a huge move towards the Aquarian energies. So Lee, of course, is very familiar with the Aquarian energies. And from March of this coming year, Pluto will go into Aquarius. That's a very, very big shift, where we're moving away from Pluto in Capricorn since 2008, where we had the global financial crisis, where we've had the Pluto in Capricorn, the United States Pluto return. It's going through this year, which is a huge transformation of the United States. How does it want to govern itself, the structures? We're moving away from the vertical type of structure, top-down, authoritative structure. We're moving more to the new human, the more horizontal, community, connected types of structures, which is very much this Pluto into Aquarius until 2044, which is our opportunity to create the new human. How are we going to use technology and biology? And how are we going to use those for the highest possible good for this awakening of the new upgraded human on our planet?
Wow.
Absolutely.
I just a moment. I don't like to talk about myself. My first degree is in economics, and everything you said rings so true. The vertical is the old way. We're moving to a more horizontal not government, but corporate. There's so many more things that you can do without the vertical structure, and you just pegged it. I've never heard anybody say what I have studied and believe is happening on a very, dismal level, because economics is the dismal science, and people don't equate the business stuff to astrology or anything else, but you do, and I'm hearing it. You have a lot to say about a lot of things here that are exceptional. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that. I feel it's just coming through me. It's not something that I know myself, so to speak.
It's coming through a lot of accumulated knowledge that you're using to do this. I want to know what you would have to say to anyone listening regarding, I would say, an overall picture of the planet and themselves, and perhaps something that might be different for everyone, rather than just one or two people because of their charts.
I would say that there is tremendous hope. There is tremendous positivity. We are moving upwards. It may look as though things are falling apart, and Pluto in Capricorn will blow apart the things that are not any good for us anymore, the things that are not helpful, that are not serving us. And that may be happening for you personally, in your personal life. And welcome that, because something new is being birthed that is so much better, that is so much higher and so much easier than you can possibly imagine. And it's an opportunity to have a 360-degree view rather than this very blinkered type of limitation that many of us have been living through. So I would say that despite some of the difficulties and some of the things that we might have to learn and climb over, it's going to be a fascinating journey. Well, it is a fascinating journey. And with so many wonderful people like yourselves, Lee and Monica, the wonderful work that you're doing and the work that you've done over the years and helped so many people, we're just accelerating now. Right, we're getting turbocharged, because as more awaken, the power increases and we can move more quickly together.
Absolutely, I love that. And I also want to briefly touch on the Pleiadians that you are channeling. Yes. If there is any message that you want to share with us that's a theme or something that you feel the Pleiadian group wants to share with us, please do so now.
Thank you. You have put me on the spot now.
Yes.
Okay. Didn't expect that. Okay. Are you asking me to channel something? Or
you don't have to. You can tell us what you have channeled, what you know, and what that message in general might be from the Pleiadians instead of actual channeling.
Well, their message is always one of love and one of joy. And that those are two words to just keep all the time in the front of your mind. And no matter what is happening in your world, love and joy will give you answers to the hardest possible questions. If something's broken down or somebody's driving you a little crazy, what would joy say right now? message be? And you might find yourself just chuckling. And it'll distract you away from pulling you and sucking you into a quicksand. So you don't need to be sucked downwards anymore. Allow yourself to be pulled upwards. Just think of the energy going upwards. You're going up, up, up. That's our message.
Could it get any better than that?
It cannot get any better than that.
It's
Love
in total
and
alignment
joy.
with everything we teach.
I love that you mentioned both, because we often talk about just what would love do, or we just talk about, well, let's get in joy, but putting them together, love and joy.
And then I said she didn't have to channel it. She did.
Yes, she did.
If anybody picked that up, that was a transmission.
Very sweet channeling, but right on the money. Love and joy. Couldn't get any better.
So much wisdom, my dear, that you have. Thank you so much for everything you have given today. Now, Monica, you want to tell them where they can, people can find it?
If you've enjoyed listening to the wisdom and knowledge and divine guidance from Bracka Goldsmith, her website is yourastrologysigns.com, and she also has many YouTube clips you can go and check out. Look at her website. So much on offer from this beautiful divine astrologer. Any last words, Bracka?
I just want to say how grateful I am for this co-creation today with the two of you.
Aww.
You pulled out of me things that I didn't know were there. So thank you for that.
Thank you,
and thank you for the work you're doing.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's a joy and absolutely lovely to be with you.
Well, we have loved every moment, and we are in joy. And we're going to actually move towards a 10-minute break, but I encourage you to write those words down, love and joy. Stick them on your bathroom mirror.
Put them on your refrigerator.
Whatever situation you have, what would love and joy do?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, we'll take a 10-minute break. We'll see you back here for the Circle of 12.